this, let me start over. Okay. Hi everybody, how are you doing? Welcome to the Mobile Suit Gundam Iron Blooded Orphans Season 2 panel. We're really excited to bring this panel to you guys today. We have a lot of great guests with us this afternoon, and we're going to go through some questions and probably have a little time for Q&A for you guys as well. And just so y'all know, after this panel is all wrapped up, if you were cosplaying from Iron Blooded Orphans, we're going to do a quick little meetup right outside the Funimation Lounge, so in front of East Overlook. So right after this panel ends, we'll all just kind of move all together over there to go grab some pictures. So just make sure you stick around for that. I will introduce myself. My name is Tara McKinney. I am the manager of conventions over at Funimation. You've probably seen me running around doing a bunch of different things. We do all sorts of stuff, and we're really happy to be at Otakon again this year. But this panel is for Mobile Suit Gundam Iron Blooded Orphans Season 2, which just came out this past week. And we do have it at the Funimation booth. So if you haven't picked it up yet, we do have Part 1 and Part 2, and also Season 1 as well. So if you need to add that to your collection or pick it up for the autograph sessions tonight, we've got you taken care of. We do also have the limited edition, which is available online, and it has a extra, or these Blu-rays can fit in your Season 1 box set as well. It has an art book with a lot of illustrations that have only been available in the Japanese release before. Super cool. But another cool thing is this limited edition Gunpla, which is only available in this box set. So this is exclusive to Funimation. There are only a limited amount available. So if you need this, you can order it on the Funimation.com shop. You can probably find it at another vendor in the dealer's hall. So, you know, just run around, check it out, see if you need to add this to your collection. It's a pretty cool little set. Okay, we will go ahead and get right into it. We will welcome our guest to the stage. So, first up, we have Johnny Ambush. He is the English voice of Orga. We will do an intro right after we finish. Okay, next up is Kyle McCarley. He is the English voice of Mecha. Up next is Robbie Damon. He is the English voice of Gaelium. And then we have some special Japanese guests with us as well. We have Matsukase-san. He is the Japanese voice of Gaelium. Mecha Designer with us as well. This is Otakon. And rounding out our guests is Nagai-san. He is the director of Mobile Suit Gundam Iron Blooded. Right, do you guys want to do a quick introduction of yourself? Just how long you've been doing this, or anything like that?
I'm Johnny. I'm the voice of Orga, and I've been doing this for a number of years now. Got started off as a Power Ranger, and then I transitioned into voiceover. Vash was my first anime, and Bleach, and Code Geass, and plenty of other things, but yeah.
Hi everybody, I'm Kyle. I'm the voice of Mikazuki. And I've been doing this for a few years now, but this show is particularly special for me because it was my first lead role in an anime series, and Gundam Wing was my jam when I was a kid, so I was pretty stoked about this particular show.
My name is Robbie Damon, and actually, strangely enough, I started as a Power Ranger. I was 9 years old in my underwear. Monsters, that was my start. And I started dubbing anime. I've been doing voiceover for about 10 years. I started dubbing anime in 2014 as Tuxedo Mask and Sailor Moon. And then it's been doing great shows ever since, including this one.
Nice to meet you. My name is Masaya Matsukaze. 20歳の頃はメガレンジャーをやって地球を守っていました。今日はよろしくお願いします。
When I was 20, I was doing Mega Ranger and saving the Earth, so I'm really glad to be here today. 日はどうもまたよろしくお願いします。
I'm actually the Mecha Designer on the series. My name is Kanekake Ebika. Pleased to meet you.
Nice to meet you. 辰之長井、監督をやってました。今日はよろしくお願いします。
And my name is Tatsuyuki Nagai. I was the overseeing director for the series. Again, nice to meet you all.
So we have some questions for everybody, and these are directed questions, and so we'll just get started. This is for our director. Gundam Iron Blooded Orphans was a new collaboration between you and writer Mari Otakon, for whom you worked on for titles like Anohana and Anthem of the Heart, both of which were very different from the Gundam series. How did your collaboration on Iron Blooded Orphans compare to working on those different projects?
そうですね。今までは本当に完全に2人で同じような感じで話を作ってきたんですけど、今回は俺が割と戦闘とか SF 周り、で彼女の方が日常というか普段の生活みたいな感じで、得意なところを少し分けて作業していました。
So until now, on the titles that we've previously collaborated on, it's always been kind of a shared project. We've equally worked on all the parts, kind of split everything half and half. But in this one, I think we each kind of took the lead a little bit more on different aspects of the series. For example, I worked more on the battle scenes and the sci-fi aspect of the series, was she handled her specialty, which is of course the everyday, ordinary life part of the story.
All right, awesome. Okay, so we will move on to our Mecha Designer. This question is for you. Can you explain how the Mecha design process works? And do you incorporate specifications from the plot or characters when you create a specific design?
はい、そうですね。もちろんその最初に監督と打ち合わせするときに、このモビルスーツにはどういうキャラクターが乗るのかっていうのは、まず最初に聞く案件です。
So of course, yes, absolutely. Even from the very early pre-production meetings, when I first meet with the director, in this case, Director Nagai to my left, I asked them, so the mecha that you want me to design, what kind of characters pilot these mecha?
本当に力強いキャラクターは本当にモビルスーツのシルエットも力強くしたりとか、本当にキャラクターを反映するのがモビルスーツのこの姿だと思っているので、その辺が結構重要視してデザインしています。
For example, if the character is a very strong character, I want to reflect that in the design of the mobile suit and create a very powerful looking mobile suit. I always think that the mecha should reflect the personality and the status of the character. So those are things I really focus on.
Okay, awesome. The next question is going to be for Kyle. Like Bartos, Mecha goes through so many physical changes in season 2, but his loyalty to Orga is unwavering. Do you think he actually changes as a character over the series, or do you see him as more steadfast and unchanging?
I think Mecha definitely has an arc to him. He experiences a lot of growth throughout the series, even though he seems to always have that stoic, almost ruthlessness to him from the very beginning of the story all the way through to the end. You can actually see, at least in his interactions with the people closest to him, a softening throughout the series, and you can see him kind of explore more of his emotional side as he grows.
This question is going to be for Johnny. Orga's decisions guide the fate of Tekiden throughout the series, and many of his ideas, like becoming the King of Mars, are really so wild and desperate. How do you personally feel about Orga's decisions and burdens during season 2? Did you agree with or understand his position? It's a heavy one.
Yeah, I don't know. I think with most decisions anyone makes, it's that first gut feeling and you kind of go for that, but then eventually you can get tunnel vision and not see really the things that are going on around you, but you're so determined to reach that end goal, and then you start to realize it when it's too late, or bad things are starting to happen. So I think my feeling was just that, yeah, it was just that. Like, he was just going on this, just continuing to go on this gut feeling, and then he's seeing things fall apart around him. And then it takes, the rest of the group to kind of help bring it all back together so that they're all on that same path together, for him to realize it too,
Okay.
If that makes sense.
I think it does. I think it does.
If it doesn't make sense, forget it.
I guess on that one too, when you guys were, also recording this, did you have any personal feelings about his decisions too? As playing the characters and being in that situation?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry, I should have said
I think that's one aspect of Mecha that didn't ever change. He was never going to be the decision maker. He was always, Orga, what do you want me to do? I will do that. Period. That's it. So, which is really not fair to Orga, I think, to say, hey, you're responsible for what I do. But even there was that scene that we did in the live dubbing thing earlier that we kind of touched on, where Orga's feeling responsible for Mecha, and Mika's like, what are you talking about? No, it's my fault that I didn't do what you asked of me. It's not your fault that you were asking too much or something. And I feel like that's an aspect of Mika's character that was consistent from the very beginning of the show all the way through to the end.
Yeah, Orga's kind of like the football coach. He's got a game plan, and he's got to do this to get the touchdown, but it doesn't always work out,
I like that.
You're the quarterback.
All right, so our next question is for our director. Gundam is a long and historic franchise. What do you think are the essential elements that are needed to make a show truly feel like a Gundam series? And how do you consider those when you are directing?
やっぱりガンダムシリーズで一番大切なのは、主人公が少年であること、それと、メカに乗ってかっこいいメカに乗って戦争をするということだと思います。
So I think that the most essential parts of Gundam, what are the essential elements? That you have a youth, a young man who's the main protagonist, and he rides or pilots a cool mecha and wages war.
それと、もちろんメカがかっこいいのは当然なんですけども、10代の少年らしい揺れる心というのを、ちゃんと描くっていうのが、ガンダムシリーズなのかなと思ってます。
But not only does he pilot a cool mecha, but of course he's in his teens, and so therefore he has a big heart that evolves or matures over the course of the series.
今回のシリーズ、ミカズが全然揺れないんですけど。
Except that, of course, Mika's heart never changes.
All right. And the next question is for Kawai-san. Which mechas were the most interesting to design?
そうですね、僕が本当にこのオルフェンに最初に参加したきっかけで、最初にやりたいって言ったら敵役の敵の量産型ってをやりたいと思ってたんで、グレーズがすごくお気に入りでしたね。
Actually, when I first found out that I was going to be working on Iron Blooded Orphans, my request was actually that for once I wanted to actually work on designing the antagonist, the enemy, like Mecha. In particular, I think I fell in love with the Grey series.
そうですね。あとはモビルスーツ1体というわけではないんですけど、結構メカデザイナーが頭を絞って考えたのが、オルフェンズの戦闘って接近戦が結構多いんですよ。モビルスーツと肉弾戦が多いんです。
So another thing that's unique to IBO, I want to say, is that there are a lot of close combat scenes between the mobile suits and the other mecha.
そういう意味でお互いの獲物というか武器、バットでありハンマーであり、そういうのを結構みんなで頭絞ったんで、なんかまた見返す機会があったら武器にもちょっと注目してほしいです。
So because there are many scenes of close combat, what becomes important are the weapons. especially blades and that kind of close combat type weapons. So if you have a chance to rewatch the series, I'd love if you can also pay particular attention to all the weapons that the different mecha wield.
And then as a follow-up to that one, is there a finished design in Iron Blooded Orphans that was your very favorite?
そうですね、グレイズと、あとは、でも一番っていうわけではないんですけど、あと、グリムゲルデっていう、マクギリスが乗っていた赤い機体がいるんですよ。それが実は結構一番大きい。グリムゲルデ。
So like I said, I really love the race series, and even though I can't say this is my #1 favorite, it's the mobile suit that McGillis pilots, which is the Elder. Yeah. That would be have to be that one.
グリムゲルデ。
Going down the rest of the panel, does anybody else have a particular Gundam design that was your very favorite? Like offhand, if you just had to say one?
もちろん決まりすぎだ。
Same. the Kimanas for me. I had never built a Gundam. I didn't know what it was at all, and I got all of my Gundam that I could get my hands on and built them. And you know when you do the panel lining with the pen or whatever, I really liked that because the Kimanas had all that white on it, and the detailing on the lining was so cool. So it was a great design, and it was just fun to build too.
Yeah, I have to say Barbatos. But, I'm the same actually. I had never built any Gunpla, and I have a collection now of Barbatai. Although it's kind of a toss-up after seeing season 2 because Ball is pretty baller.